Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. As Senator Andrews said, my name is Abel. They call me in Ethiopia Abel. In America, they call me Abel. As long as you don't call me Ken, I'm fine. My job here tonight is to introduce Mr. Kamal Saleem. Kamal Saleem was born in Lebanon to a Sunni family, to a Muslim family, and he was recruited by the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, for jihad, and he did his first terrorist mission to Israel at the age of 7. He ran big terror operations working for Yasser Arafat, the father of international terrorism, Gaddafi, the dictator of Libya, and Assad, the dictator of Syria. He was also sent to the United States to convert Americans to the glory of Allah, but God had a different plan. In 1985, a Christian man shared the gospel of Christ to Saleem at the scene of an auto accident. Saleem began his spiritual journey and became Christian. Formerly, he was with focus on the family in Colorado Springs. He now relocated due to security concerns and now lives in an undisclosed location. He is married for 16 years and has 3 kids and 5 grandkids. He is the author of the book called The Blood of Lambs that tells his whole story. Today, well-versed in both the Quran and the Bible, Saleem shares the insights he has on world affairs, and he educates people from all sectors of life. We can say elected officials and the US military, intelligence and law enforcement officers, contractors, foundations, nonprofits, churches and synagogues, universities and policy think tanks. And doing that, he came to Colorado Springs, to Colorado Christian University, and shared his insights with our students. He also, when possible, shares his insight with receptive Muslim audiences. In addition, he has given different and many interviews to US media and talk shows. Tonight, in this session, Saleem is here to share with us his life testimony, the danger of international terrorism, and above all, how we counterattack international terrorism with all elements of national power. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our brother. He is one of us, Kamal Saleem.
Thank you. Well, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. I'm only just another man like you, but our problem started in the Middle East with the American people and the Jewish people. Tonight, my problem was with an American Jew. I would have started much earlier and started and finished earlier, but Dennis has to speak forever. So my problem still with American, but this guy is compact, American Jews, both in one. My life, where it started, it's nothing like here in America. I want to take you somewhere where America will have solution. Our solution started, I want to take you to 1683. 1683, the Ottoman Empire rose with a mighty army of 250,000 soldiers. These soldiers were seasoned. These soldiers were mighty warriors. These soldiers, they wear their stripes of blood scars on their face and all over their body. And they went and besieged a city, it's called Vienna. And as they stood at the walls of Vienna, they besieged the city and they put their tent and they put their armies and they sat down, they settled. Mustafa Pasha, the emperor, the emperor of the Ottoman Empire, was determined to take that nation. Why? Because it's the center of economic, center of freedom, center of liberty, center of freedom, of pursuit of happiness, where people can worship the God of any desire what they want, whether they're Christians or Jew or whatever there is, you can live free. John III, the King of Poland, raised 60 to 70,000 soldiers, and he gave them speech. And in his speech, he said, today we stand at the end of age, at the edge where the culture are coming to face each other. Today, we stand for our nation. Today, we fight for our children, for our grandchildren. We fight for our women, for our belief. We fight for our God. We fight for the King. Fight, fight, fight. 70,000 soldiers opened the gate of Vienna and they pierced the Ottoman Empire all the way to Damascus. And the slaughter was very strong. That was September 11, 1683. September 11, 1683, our nation has been challenged. Where they have left from, they are coming to pick up from that place. Our message is not a message of hate. Our message is, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. If the people don't get engaged and do something about their nation, then those who will come about to the nation, they will change your world. When I gaze at the American flag and look at the American red color, I come to understand that freedom is not for free. This freedom is bought by price, and that price your grandfathers and your family offered to you on a silver tray. Today, you live in that freedom. I want every man and woman 26 and under to stand up. 26 and under, stand up. Oh, we have more than that. Okay, they're afraid. Well, I'm not going to charge any money. Stand up, stay standing. Who will stand on the wall of this nation and tell them nothing's going to happen to you? Who will tell them, I will be there for you? Who will tell them, tonight I will stay up and I will watch. I'll be the watcher on the wall. Who will tell them, I will be the one who blow the trumpet if something is about to happen to you? They don't have the hope that we had. Today, that freedom that you live in is given to you for free, and we have not turned it to them. November is a very important time. November is when we claim our nation and we stand for what is good and what is pure and what is honest and what is wholesome. And this is when we stand for our young men and women in this nation. You can sit down. That'll be 25 cents later on. My story started in Beirut, Lebanon. My mother was an Ottoman Empire. Her father left Turkey in 1924. This is when Ataturk abolished the sword of Khalifa. So Islam could not fight anymore. So now everybody has to live like a Western civilization. My dad was a blacksmith. In my home, I learned to love Allah. We didn't have a TV, we didn't have a whole lot, but we loved Allah with all our heart. I lived on the stories, what Muhammad did and how Sharia law expanded and how we took over the world. Futuhat al-Islamiyya was taking place. I was learning there in my house, 14 brothers and sisters in 3-room house. That's not 3-bedroom, that's a kitchen, living room, and a bedroom. I was learning what is my purpose in life. My mom said, my son, if you kill a Jew, your hand will light up before the throne of Allah. And the host of heaven and Allah will celebrate what you did. If you kill a Christian, Allah will celebrate your glory. And as a matter of fact, it is our duty to fight and bring about the fight of Futuhat al-Islamiyya all over again. And my generation is to bring about the 3rd jihad. The world fought the 1st jihad, the 2nd jihad. Today is the grand jihad, which is America is facing. By the time I was 5 years old, I was learning the Quran and reciting the Quran and learning the hadith by Muhammad. And now I'm growing up to be a zealot Muslim by the love of my mother and father. By the age of 7, I was recruited by the Muslim Brotherhood. I was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, Akka Akhwan, until 1985. The Muslim Brotherhood came in 1928. After the Khalifa was abolished, they came about to bring the Khalifa for the future, to change the world of future. Because they want to bring the sword of Islam about. These were my teacher. We were learning there in the mosque in the neighborhood how to possess the land. It is by these young women, when they go to university, when we get our student visa, we marry them and we obtain the citizenship. And we can use your culture for our benefit, your amendment, your liberty, everything. As a matter of fact, liberty, democracy, pursuit of happiness, freedom of speech, free thinking, these are false gods to us. In Islam, there's only one God, and His name is Allah. Anything outside of Allah is not permitted. This is how I was growing up. By the time I was 7 years old, I was recruited by a group called Fatah. Fatah was later on became the PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization. I trained when I was 7 years old, and I was sent on my first mission. I went to Israel, to the Golan Heights, via the Syrian mountains, tunnels underground. We dressed like Bedouin. We took weapon caches on our back. We rendezvoused with the shepherd. The shepherd put them on the belly of the sheep. They went to Israel. They killed innocent Jews. When we came back, we were celebrated as heroes. The second mission, I carried my best friend on my back. By the time I was 19 years old, I worked for Hafiz al-Assad, the dictator of Syria, Saddam Hussein, and the dictator of Libya, Gaddafi, was like a father to me. I grew up on his table. I ate with his family, and I trained his warriors, and we trained the Sandinesian, the Irish Republic, the Black Panthers. We trained from every place. We were training people how to be, because we thrive on destructions. This is my life. You say, well, Kamal, is this all the Muslim like this? No, not all the Muslim like this. But my brand of Muslim today account for 18 to 22% of 1.5 billion. Do the mathematics. That's greater than the nation of the United States of America. That they believe that everyone must be destroyed for their belief. This is how I started. My last war was in Tora Bora. I was fighting with the Mujahideen. We were teaching them how to shoot heat-seeking missiles. After that, we went to culture jihad in Europe, and from Europe, I came to the United States of America. America was the final frontier. America was the great Satan. We were taught from our childhood the great Satan America and the great and the small Satan Israel, and these two must be subdued and destroyed. My brand of jihad, America have to understand the phases of jihad. Jihad is not war by the cannon or by the rifle. Jihad is economic. Jihad is the banking system, the academia, the media. Your very life that you live today, there's different jihads to fight your world. So we came what's called stealth jihad, which is culture jihad. We came about to come under the radar, that nobody would know who we are, and when the bad guy did something, we said we are not one like them. These are bad guys. We were the good guys. But we're recruiting your sons to go just like John Taliban, to take him to Afghanistan and fight against American soldiers. This is where's our job. We opened two organizations, Muslim Student Association and Muslim Student Union. Our Islamization is completely different. Dennis was talking earlier about, improve your husband. We have a cure that in Muslim world. The women have no right to talk. You can marry 4 women, and if she disobeys you, beat her up. It's in the Holy Quran. And until she comes to submission. As a matter of fact, the Quran said the fuel of hell is made out of women. Your woman is like your ground. You walk on her and use her and you retell her and you seed her as you desire. If a man and woman went to court, the woman have to bring four people to testify on her behalf. The man has to bring 2. If a father died, he had 3 children, left 2 daughters and 1 son. One son get 50% and the 2 girls get the leftover. Our world was completely different, talking about upside down. We had a fix for everything. Because in Islam, in Sharia law, it is determined to the Muslims. Sharia law is 2 components. One is the Holy Quran and one the Hadith by Muhammad, which is the life and everything Muhammad commanded to do. These together make Sharia law. Sharia law, what America needs to understand, Sharia law is the constitution of Islam. Sharia law is socialization of a system and a culture. Socialization is Islamization. Socialism is the other side of the coin of Islamism. Do you understand me? Today, what are you facing today in here? It's culture that is shifting from end to end. The Titanic plate underground is being moved, and your world is being changed. It is no longer the same. Article 6 today is a challenge. If Article 6 is abolished and changed, then Sharia law will be equal to the American government in every level. And if that's equal, then the hate crime bill will be introduced, and you could not practice your Christianity or your Judaism or whatever that you practice, because now, if you are a Christian, you have to pay jizya. Jizya is taxation, just like Europe. The Christian or the Jews, they pay 10% out of their pocketbook to the government if you declare they're Christians. These are very important things, what America is facing today. We're coming here and we're changing your world slowly but surely, that every day when you wake up and you go to Starbucks, we're already awakened. We did not sleep. Our pocket never empty from the mighty dollars, because you're supporting our effort at that time. The mighty petrodollar is coming from you. You, the one, are hungry and thirsty and addicted to oil. So every time you pump right there, you supported our effort. And for that, thank you at that time. My world was different. My world was different. It is my right to be your friend until I subdue your world. It is my right to live by a doctrine called al-taqiyya. My mother taught me about al-taqiyya when I was 5 years old. She said, there's two kinds of sin, my son. The first one is sinning, talking about yourself and saying, I am Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. That's not true. The second one, the advanced Islamization. That's considered righteousness. So whatever you lie about, it is true and wholesome. Muhammad declared al-taqiyya doctrine in the Quran, in the surah, which is a book. It's called al-ahzab. Al-ahzab means the parties. When he said to one of the spies, go spy on the enemy and come and tell me what they're doing, he said, if I go, I have to lie about you, Mr. Muhammad, and if I lie about you, you kill people like me. What do you want me to do? He said, whatever you say for the sake of Allah, for the sake of Islam, for my sake, it is forgiven. America today, the Saudi government in the last decade, they poured over $100 billion in the United States of America into your college system. Today, the curriculum with the professors, this is changing. More of them support Hamas. More of them support the terrorism against truth. Those are, professors in colleges. More of them support the annihilation of Israel than being with Israel. Israel is one of the United States states. It's the Western civilization, sovereign civilization, among 62 million Muslims want to destroy it. We could not allow that to happen. The other thing was your banking system. Today, Sharia law banking is part of your American culture. The tentacle of the octopus are coming in on one level. We already lost. We already lost the academia. The media is being bought. Prince bin Talal of Saudi Arabia already purchased 10% of Fox News. He's the major holder of Fox News. He can declare later on what's been said and what's not as soon as he purchased more. He bought 6% of Forbes magazine. Why is he buying the conservative media? And he's a Saudi prince. The other one is your government. Today they have over 500 lobbyists. They're lobbying the government night and day. This is the age and this is the hour where they call it the umbilical cord. This is where the Muslim come from the other side of the world, and now they birth American children, and the American children become part of your society, and now when they become part of your society, they will change your culture because every amendment is applicable to them. I'm going to show you something happened after 9/11, a DVD. This has happened directly after 9/11 in New York City. Anytime. It was 2 minutes.
الفاصل فصف الجحافل آساده ودكوا به.
Just to show where our loyalty belongs to. You see this flag here? It's going to go on the floor. And to us, our loyalty does not belong to this flag. Our loyalty belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Takbir. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Muhammadur Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. والشهيد حبيب الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. محمد رسول الله. محمد رسول الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. والشهيد حبيب الله. والشهيد حبيب الله. To us, that flag represents the war in Islam and Muslims. To us Muslims, that flag represents the Crusader War in Islam, headed by this United States government. To us Muslims, that flag represents the biggest terrorist state in the whole world. Muslims, to purify our belief, to purify our tawheed, and to show our oneness in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we disassociate ourselves to represent anything that this flag stands for, represents, or calls for. Let this point be known to the people in general, as well as the Muslims. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. We Muslims, we are doing this. We have a legal permit, and we are doing this. You Muslims who are hiding in your houses, don't be afraid. Come and join us. Join us in the revival of Al-Islam to rise the Muslims. Come and join us.
Thank you.
Join us.
That's plenty. Just recently, I fought a battle. For 2 hours, I spoke to a council. It's called the New York Council, 30 men and women, Jewish, Christian, and God knows. They were there, and the issue was ground zero. And the ground zero, they were about to open a mosque called Cordoba Mosque. The Cordoba Mosque is financed by the Saudi Wahhabi dollars and the Indonesian government. It's an Indonesian initiative. What people don't understand, when I went to talk to the council, I said, do you know what Cordoba initiative is all about? Do you know what Cordoba is? Cordoba is a state in Spain. When the Muslims enter and besiege Spain, they capture about nearly 80,000 of the Spanish leaders. They boil them in the city centers in the pots, and they chop them to pieces, nail them on the trees, and they just put the fear of Allah in the whole Spanish society that the whole Spain fell apart. I said, Spain, at that time, what the Muslim talk about, what Islam talk about, there's difference between Muslim and Islam. Muslim are the follower of Islam. Islam is the religion. Islam is the one I'm contending with and not the Muslim. The Muslim are good people, and if we bring them to liberty that I came to, they will be different too. But over there, the Muslim says, word for word, they said, well, look at Cordoba. The Jews live there, the Christians over there. Yes, but they paid 7% penalty taxation. What is that penalty taxation? If you want to be non-Muslim, in order to live, you have to pay for your life. And they said, well, we were just being nice to you. We let you live. Yeah, but you did not let them build mosques, churches or synagogues or anything, and therefore they could not do anything without permission. If a Muslim went to court with non-Muslim, Jews or Christian, the Muslim win the court case immediately. I'm going, where was the justification? The Cordoba Initiative is coming to the United States of America to make peace with the New Yorker people. Sorry, we killed 3,000 people. Those who fell out of the plane, the buildings, screaming because they don't want to be burned, we didn't mean to do it. I said, this is a pilgrimage place, the Statue of Liberty of the whole initiative. Now the whole Muslim can come and go to pilgrimage right there in New York City and say, this is our Statue of Liberty. That's where liberty came to the United States of America from Italy, from Ireland, from all over the world. Today, Islam came and possessed that place. 29 council vote for the mosque. 1 council vote against the mosque. As American culture, we must be engaged. Our job, you are the leaders. We gotta teach our children, they are the presidents, they are the senators, they are the congressmen, they are the governors, they are the lawyers, they are the consuls, they are everyone else. We must invest back in our culture. Our culture needs us more than ever before. If we don't fight for her, who will fight for her? A terrorist? A terrorist from across the world. In the book of Isaiah, it says, and choose a man from among you and put him on the wall. And if he sees the enemy coming about and he sound the alarm and the people do not wake up, the blood of the nation is on their head. And he said, if he sees the enemy and he does not declare, he doesn't sound the alarm, then the blood of the nation on his head. Today, this scripture has been fulfilled. November is not just an election. It's liberty. It's freedom. It's winning back our culture, standing for what is good and pure and lovely. Just like Dennis said, we don't fight by hate, we fight by love, because love is major. But nevertheless, we never let anyone else tell us this is how it works. We tell them how it works. We tell them what the truth is, and we stand for the truth. And when they hear your voice, they will change. You are the people. This culture is by the people, from the people. The people of this land still sovereign. And if you don't do it, then who will? I know I could talk forever, but I'm not going to. I'm going to move right into question and answer. Please hurt me slowly. Before I take any questions, all my life I wanted to die for the Islam. When I came to America and I saw how you live, when I came in a car wreck, I met 3 men. They showed me the love of God. One of them was Jew, 2 of them Christians. They took me into their home and they nourished me to life. These people never knew who I am. But when I saw what they did to me, it changed my life completely. And I saw true America. They did not preach something which is a lie, but they lived that life. It changed my life. Today I stand in that liberty. Today I fight for this. Today this is my nation. Today this is my home. Today, last year we moved in the last 2 years we moved 4 times. They sent several groups to kill us, 4 different groups. I have 6 fatwa over my head. Over $30 million. I wish they let me borrow it and do something with it. Just in such time as this, so I can expand what I'm doing and finish it, and then in 5 years I can turn back. This is good return on investment for them. But they don't understand that law yet. So anyhow, go ahead with the question, please.
Kamal, you talked about that we should be involved and we should to do what we can. Can you give some specific suggestions on what we can do to prevent the slow creep of Sharia across all different aspects of our society?
Absolutely. And that's a very good question. Number 1 is to know these people who are running for office. Do they believe that we worship the same God? Is Allah and Jehovah, God Almighty, are the same God? They are not the same God, because one called for his people to die and one gave his life for his people. The difference between is vast. One said, if the whole world is worth a net leg to me, I would have destroyed it time and time again. And one said, I so loved the world that I gave, that I sent my only begotten Son. This is the difference between 2. They are not equal. That's number 1. Number 2, did they believe in coexistence, in tolerance, all the stuff that today they are preaching, political correctness, all the stuff which is, these are the still jihad itself that it's changing our culture. That's number 1. Number 2, your councils, when they are voting on a bill or something, We need to understand this. Your governor, when he's speaking about something, we need to understand what he's trying to pass. Anytime that we're not understanding, they're passing something behind you, we need to make a stink. Why? Because when they hear your voice, they will know that the people are awake, they are not asleep. Because when we don't do anything, all of a sudden they see the eagle change his identity and citizenship to an ostrich, and he buried his head in the sand, and he's ready to be devoured. Second one, when PTA takes place in your school, man, go and stand for your little children. It's not a woman's job. When the woman is going out there, stand for her. It's our job to be involved in everything, to know everything, fought on everything, and select and go to everyone, call them, let them know what you think, how you feel. If you don't, then nothing's going to happen. Involvement is you should run for a council. You should run for senator. You should run for all this. Why? Many of them don't have more than you do. Many of them are equal. They have the same degree, the same everything. Run for it. Make the difference. Stand for what's good and pure and lovely. All these involvement, being everywhere. Next. Come on.
You mentioned fatwa on you. Is that part of the culture here in America? Is there some activity in fatwas on politicians, people who are speaking out? Could you explain more about that?
Well, okay, not yet. Coming soon on 3D. Fatwa is a judgment. It's part of culture jihad. In Islam is the only religion that permits murder legally. For example, if you're gay in Islam, then your head is chopped off. That's very good cure, very fast cure. If you're a woman and you sinned, you've slept with somebody, it's very fast cure, you are stoned to death. It's a very good fix. If you're a man, you get 40 lash and you go home, you're free. In Europe, some of the European people that they spoke against Islam and Sharia law, they were killed. Because Islam judged them, because Islam, right now in England, there's over 80 Islamic court in the English culture. And these are courts as high as the English culture courts. And today they are clashing together. Who's going to ruin and run and take over the other one? And when that takes place, when Sharia law is permitted and Article 6 is abolished, and now religion is equal to the government and Sharia law is part of the American government, yes, it is. In America itself, over 50 women last year were killed by honor killing. What is honor killing? It's a law by Islam when a man killed a woman because she did like the taxi driver whose two daughters went to her in Houston, went on a date with American boys. He took the gun and shot them in the head. Like the general manager of the TV station, Iranian TV station, his wife said, I want to go back home. He beheaded her. Like the imam in Michigan, he called 911 and he said, I just beheaded my daughter and I've done nothing wrong. This is my legal right. These are the things that we are facing here at home in America. And yet our media are just going, we're not fighting anything. It's okay. It's hunky-dory, baby. As a matter of fact, our media is drinking the Kool-Aid, and many of them are bought by the petrodollar. And today they are worshiping that petrodollar, which is they are no longer listening to anyone else. They are doing what they are told. They are yo-yos more than anything else. Yes, I'm zealot still. But I'm trying to defend a country that I love. A country that stood for me when I needed it the most. A country that stood and loved me to life instead of loved me to death. A country that says to you, nothing's going to happen to you today. You're safe here. A country that its laws stand for what is good and pure and lovely. A country that says today, this is freedom. It is for freedom I have set you free. Liberty and pursuit of happiness. Today, if I go back home, my father was dying, and my sister called me. She said, don't come. They're waiting for you at the airport. That will be your last visit. My mom, just my sister called me just the other day, said, your mother dying with a cancer in her stomach. My mother loved me above all my brothers and sisters because I served her. But yet, I could not go see her because that'll be my last visit. I lost my home, my childhood, my liberty, and everything. You say, Kamal, you were a terrorist at one time. You fought against Jews, against Christians, against Russians, against this and this, and shouldn't you go to jail? Well, how about those in Guantanamo Bay not using the hate crime law against them and send them back home to open another camp over there? By what law did you send them back home? How about Majid, Major, Hassan Majid, right there in Fort Hood. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Islam has commanded me to do whatever I did. Oh, we're not going to use the Patriot law against you. He's not feeling well. He's going home free. What kind of law is this? Abdul Muttalib, the underwear bomber. He didn't get his versions. He lost his stuff, and now he's got nothing. Why? He burnt, and now they send him back home because they said he's a little kid. Well, how about the thousands of people who are going to die in America? It's upside down law. It's upside down. That's why we must fight. Fighting for what's good, for truth, for your liberty, for your freedom. It's no different. Give me liberty or give me death. We understood this in the Muslim world. To die for the sake of Allah is better than living or anything else, because that's our only way to go to heaven. Another question.
Hi, my question is, well, first I want to say you're a very brave man.
Thank you.
And also, my question is, how do you distinguish between the Muslim that wants to integrate and the Muslim that wants to kill?
That's a very, very good question. How old are you?
I'm 15, sir.
Are you going to run for an office?
Thank you.
You should. There's 3 levels of Islam. You have the Zalat Muslim, which is 18 to 22% of 1.5 billion. You have the other kind of Muslim that they come here to this country and they said we are moderate. The moderate Muslim are not supposed to fight aggressively. Why? Because the Khalifa is not introduced. The final Khalifa is when he comes about, the whole Islamic world must arise with them and introduce Islamization. Muhammad says, Inni umurtu anna uqatilu. I have been commanded to fight until I subdue the whole nations, until they say, La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. There's no God but Allah, Muhammad, his prophet. When he comes about, and he is the final imam, which is right now the OIC, Organization Islamic Council, Google that, everybody should. That is the organization, Islamic organization right now calling for the final imam to come and calling Turkey to take their rightful place to lead Islamization against the whole world. And when that takes place, and even this immediate government that we have here, our current president has assigned an ambassador to be on the OIC. He has approved it. When somebody's talking about the heritage of this nation is Islamic heritage, I'm going, what heritage? The 9/11 was the heritage that we saw. The other thing is what we're seeing is our culture is changing, and these Muslims, many of them are sent here for purpose. The Saudi Arabian government pays $100,000 for a family to migrate to the United States of America. They pay $10,000 monthly to dress like a Muslim and declare their Islamization. Every 5.5 days, a new mosque is open in the United States of America. The synagogue and the churches that shut their doors are converted to mosques. And the crescent is planted in them. Billy Graham, North Carolina, his church. Today, it's a Muslim mosque. They just bought it recently. Muslim kids are roaming there, and it's no longer church. It's no longer. We are losing our country little by little. We have kicked God out of our government, out of our school, out of our media. Don't kick him out of the house. Don't kick him out of your thoughts or your morals. Keep him there, because he's the only one. In the Bible, it says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, and if they seek my face and return from their wicked ways, Then they will hear from heaven. Then we will heal their land. Then we will forgive their sin. Thus says Jehovah God Almighty. Our nation must come to say, we've done wrong, and make the difference today. Why? How do we make the difference? Today is the hour. Today when we stand. Today when we declare that we are American. Today when we say we are going to make it different than ever before. Today when we become engaged and start understanding what is Sharia law, what is Islam, who is this crazy terrorist talking about this? Why is he talking about it? Why is he putting his life to be killed again? All this, it means something to me. And that's something I'll give my life for. How about you? How about you? One more question.